This episode of Playlog, it's a Couch Gnomes episode, and we're talking about the new 3-player co-op roguelike from the team behind Deadcell's Windblown. All right, we're recording. Don't incriminate yourself.
I'm gonna say it.
Don't do it. Do it. Say it. Go ahead.
I wasn't there in 1985. You can't prove anything. Danny, you can't put that in. You gotta bleep that.
I know. Did you imagine?
Danny, you should actually bleep it. That would actually be so funny.
You bleep it, it's like 5 words, and everyone's like, what did he say?
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that. Sorry, chat. You never get to know. Hey, guys. CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog Podcast, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming. But, of course, can't talk indie games alone because that would be super boring. And I nonchalantly locked Tofr away into a room to play some games for this episode. So, I've got 2 special guests with me today. Firstly, making his first modern Playlog debut, we've got the yellow gnome, Hobo Monkey himself, Connor.
Yeah, I even wore my Couch Gnomes hat.
Yo, look at that. Look classic.
Throwback.
Classic.
My hair's also a mess, so this worked out great.
Shop.searcher.com/CGDannyB. You can grab one over there.
Is that still up there?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't know that was still up.
At least I bought the design off because I was like, I'm gonna put that back on there. You know, that Couch Gnomes thing. But of course, alongside us, we also have the red gnome, Dwarven Lion, Kani. Yo.
And to commemorate, I wore a shirt that is the exact colors if you put all of our colors together.
The couch.
Such a cop out.
He's the couch.
I wore an indie game. I wore an indie game hoodie.
I wore a one-piece shirt.
Okay, that's kind of like an indie game.
Yeah.
Mine says animation department.
for allegory. What section? What was that from?
So they made like a generic one.
Okay.
And animation department was a brown sweater, and then there was a green hat that also said animation department.
This fucker rolled in for an interview and like the only thing on his resume was flat maps. Like he fucking knew what he was doing.
Flat maps.
Dude, this fucking flat maps, man.
Flat map
Not
manager.
a thing.
That's me.
Not a thing. But anyway, a little bit of housekeeping before we get rolling. Quick reminder, if all things went according to plan and you happen to miss it, I did drop a new video this week where I was talking about 15 upcoming indie games that you can play in the month of October. From a stunning 2D platform about a girl and her wolf friend to a cozy life sim all about dinosaurs. There's a bunch of indie games to check out this month, so be sure to check out the new video on youtube.com/CGDannyB so you can know on some of the hottest games coming up. Also, don't forget, as part of the podcast, we'll be doing our monthly book club where we go back and replay some indie classics or finally get around to some modern indies that we just haven't played yet. For the month of October, we'll be reviewing Spiritfarer, a cozy management game about dying. I just copied that Steam description and didn't read it. So that caught me off guard with just how stuff, but it's true. As Fairy Master,
game about unaliving.
no, you're helping people who are dead. That's all it really is.
You're guiding spirits, right? That's what you do.
Exactly. You're ferrying the spirits to the afterlife.
Do I get pennies? Am I Charon?
Maybe.
Oh, I think there's coins.
Play the game to find out.
There you go.
You
Yes.
guys want pennies? Play the game to find out.
As the Fairy Master to the deceased, build a boat to explore the world, care for your spirit friends, and release them into the afterlife. So if you want to get involved in the episode, play the game this month on Steam, Switch, PlayStation, or Xbox, including Game Pass, then head over to our write-in form in the description and give us your thoughts on Spiritfarer for October 29th episode of Playlog. You can catch it live on twitch.tv/CGDannyB or join the discussion when it drops on YouTube at youtube.com/CGDannyB. I'm going to fumble a lot today. I came from an all-day field day yesterday where we were drinking and just played games in the rain, and I'm still all over the fucking place, but
Just
we're
a
fine.
silly, goofy mood.
Two weekends in a row, huh?
Yeah, actually.
Tough time for you.
What are you talking about? Fuck. It's been a time. Anyway, as per usual, we could break the ice because you guys can write into the show and ask us your questions about gaming, content creation, life, and etc. And we'll read it right here on the show, just like Hypnotic89 did. Hypnotic writes in and asks, if you had a time machine, what game that flopped in your opinion would you go back and change? I talked. Who wants to talk about their flop?
So when you say
won.
flop, do you mean like game that failed, or do you mean like game that has like poor perception looking back? Like people look at it and they're like, this could have been better, or like at the time was a sales bomb?
I would say, because Hypnotic wrote in with just that sentence, interpretation is yours. So whether you want to do that financial, the game sucked.
I just got the very obvious second answer.
Okay.
Ooh, listen, hit them both.
So I think if I personally had to go back in time and choose a game and like direct it just a little bit better with the knowledge I have now, Final Fantasy X.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
That game is.
What do you mean that's a masterpiece? There's no weird cutscenes in that at all.
Listen. I really like that game. The laugh that everybody memes out of context is supposed to be goofy and bad. The voice acting is not always great, regardless. And some of the story beats are just a little too long-winded, and some of the boss fights are just a little too hard for the point of the game you're in. I think if it had like some minor tweaks and adjustments, a little bit less of a runtime, and a little bit better voice acting, it'd be a great game. I think it would be ingrained as some people's favorites more than it is now.
Do you want to know a crazy fun fact about that game?
Go for it.
Connor played Titus.
The voice actor for Tidus is Ratchet and Obi-Wan Kenobi from Clone Wars.
That's incredible.
How do you drop the ball? You did Ratchet? Come on, man.
I was pretty early. I was early in the career. I was pretty early.
I never played 10. Like I started 10. I got the remaster collection on PS3, wherever I go. And like I maybe put like I finished the Blitzball stuff. I got on a pirate ship, and that's where I stopped. Like that's super at the beginning. But I remember the standee in GameStop. That was Yuna. Just doing her like little pose, and I was like, there was a lot of under cheek in those jean shorts, and I just remember that thing standing in front of the desk like forever.
There's it was either Yuna or Riku. Might have been Riku. Blonde hair?
No, the black hair.
Black hair Yuna, yeah.
Yuna.
So original Final Fantasy X, very good game in my opinion. It has a lot of memorable characters. A lot of people like Waka, even though he's unintentionally racist the whole game. Well, not unintentionally. He's pretty proud.
He's pretty
intentional.
He's pretty proud.
I haven't played the game. I've seen a lot of the game. He's pretty intent on it.
He is. There's Kimari, which is just an amazing character.
Okay.
I love Kimari. The blue lion guy.
Yeah, he's sick.
He's great. And the fact that they made him actually just a blue mage as the fucking blue lion man is great. I love the fact that he can steal monster skills. And some of those just wreck boss fights. Like there are some skills where they're like, you're not going to get this because it's a chance, and you don't use Kimari. Who does? And then you show up to some boss fights with Kimari, and it's like, I'm going to cast a spell that is unable to be reflected, can't be stopped, and it kills you instantly. And the boss is just like meant to go really long, and it just ends right away.
Blue Mage is like the coolest class in Final Fantasy that takes way too much skill for idiot children, or me in my like mid to late 20s to figure out what I can use it on.
Yeah. The other issue, or not issue, the other class that people commonly think of is like red mage, and in most cases, it's better to have either a white mage or a black mage in those games. So like red mage almost feels like it's null and void. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in 10. As an attachment to that, if I remade 10, I would also want to remake 10-2. Because 10-2, I think a lot of people played because they were interested in 10 and its story, and they're like, ooh, how's it going to continue? And 10-2 had a cool idea, very poor execution.
Shit. I dropped my fidget spinner.
Incredible.
I was like, damn, Danny really liked Final Fantasy X too.
No, I like that. Never touched it. It's one that I would love to. Listen, I don't necessarily want every single game to get it because I would love them to do Chrono Trigger instead. But if we did all of them in the Final Fantasy VII remake format, we don't necessarily make every single one of them a trilogy. But if we do something similar, I think I'd be a much different Final Fantasy fan.
I think 10-2 would actually benefit from that. So a big thing on 10-2 is being quick, and like being able to get through stuff faster. I think that game would actually benefit better from being an action hack and slash versus a turn-based, because it's hard to make decisions and navigate menus when you have a timer in your face. And like I said, that is a huge point of 10-2.
Yeah. Fucking insane.
I've only played 9, like of the traditional ones. I've only played 9 a little bit. I want to go back and beat it, but I feel like I need to sit in a call with like Kani or Sarah or someone in like a guide, because I get so lost in those games. But no, I think that'd be cool. 10 definitely is the one that looked the most interesting to me as a kid, and I used to watch my cousin play them all the time. But like that one was like cool, colorful, like aesthetic, tropical, and then like all the like kind of messed up stuff they end up getting into.
Yeah,
it's really neat.
Bet. McConnell, what's your flop?
So I'm going after one that I don't think was a flop mechanically. I think it was just a flop because the fandom sucked.
Okay.
But that's I've defended this game tooth and nail. I gotta shut up about it. But DMC Devil May Cry is like, listen, is it the best written game? No, and that definitely could be rewritten. But like for real, if all the fucking fanboys would have just been like, shut up about the fact that it's a reboot and doesn't look like Dante.
Yeah.
And we could have gotten a fucking series, like even another game, because that game's fire. If you go and play that game's like a legitimately really well made action game.
Yeah.
That like has a lot in the story with the world building has a lot of cool ramifications, but just like no one wanted it because it wasn't what they knew. The other
Ninja Theory makes pretty good games, at least mechanically.
They do. They kill it.
Right.
The other one I thought of mid conversation was Anthem.
Okay.
Go back and fix because like God, the wasted potential there.
Yeah, man, they really did. Fuck. Shit. Sorry, Anthem. I'm so close to platinum. I just can't find the fucking collectibles that don't exist. But
that don't exist.
Yeah. I followed the guys, right? They're like, there should be one right here. I'm like, there's nothing. And I fly every single spot and there's nothing to pick up. And I'm just like, I just want to fucking, if I pop these 2 collectibles, I'm done. I have the platinum, but I can't do it.
That was the game that finally killed my willingness to pre-order something.
That's
like
that's
physical.
valid.
Anthem killed it. I was like, I will no longer be made the fool.
Damn. Fucking BioWare too. Really dropping the ball.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
I think Atomic Heart was mine.
Ooh, yeah.
It had so much potential if they just had a little more content.
Yeah.
And like, and it didn't even need to be like permanently, like they just needed like a few more different kinds of missions that would have unlocked after the story. That would have had special loot, like dungeons or bosses. Yeah. And then like they just had to do that and let it sit for a couple months while they worked on like an expansion or an update. Yeah. And then as long as they could have kept a cycle, it would have been a Destiny competitor for sure.
Yeah. You wish.
Oh well.
For the game that I would totally just would love to go back and change that flopped, I did a nomenclature years ago. I think it's at like 60, just under 67,000 views, the most popular episode ever. Fucking Y2K, a postmodern RPG. I fucking is right. That's exactly how we should describe that game. It is so bad, and somehow it is mostly positive on Steam, which means they hired robots. I swear to God.
Dude, no, it's Redditors. Redditors
that's
are like, this is
ridiculous.
This is really advanced stuff, and you guys just don't get it.
No,
they're they're hiding behind the Kojima mentality. If you didn't understand it, you're dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
I love the style of this game. I guess this is one that might benefit from actually seeing, for anyone who has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. For some reason, Steam won't play trailers these days, so I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, it's this very like Earthbound, wrong scene, Earthbound-esque Paper Mario style like RPG. The main character is like so pretentious, but you're in the she it's a weird frame for her. But you just like you roam around these like really cool stylized worlds, but the main character is so pretentious and annoying. Like he does a bunch of like inner monologues to himself. He's like, "How you doing today? Oh man, this girl. I don't know if I can talk to her. She's too pretty for me. And I could go back to my school with my liberal arts degree." Like it's that whole shit the entire time. And then the gameplay is not fun. There was a whole boss that like spawns in extra minions, and then each time you would defeat them, you'd hit the main boss, and then he would. You had to hit the main boss to stagger him so you could defeat the 2 minions. At one point, I killed the boss before killing the minions, so I was trapped in a spot where I could not kill the minions. Therefore, the fight could not end. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm uninstalling this game. I'm officially over with it. I hate this game. But yeah, that game had potential, wasn't there. Soundtrack, great. I'm in a Facebook group with the guy who did the music. It's pretty cool. But other than that, don't like a game.
That you saying Earthbound really made it click to me that is definitely a game where someone wanted to make their version of Earthbound how they interpreted it.
Yeah.
And totally threw out the window that any of it could have just been the fact that Japanese culture is really weird to us in the West, and that whole Earthbound game was just made around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just didn't translate well and is goofy and not a deeper meaning. Maybe it's just a weird game, guys. It happens.
Well, make the game fun.
Look at Dr. Muto. That happened. It's a weird game.
That is a weird game.
You like that one? You like that one?
Forget about Dr. Muto.
Dr. Muto? Fuck, what a weird one.
But yes, guys, let us know what games you would go back and change, those critical or financial flops, and which ones you want to see different.
Dr. Muto.
Tell us
I'd
how
go
you choose
back and
Dr.
fix-
Mudo.
Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. By fix, I mean give me
Fix.
equal.
Yes, I was gonna say fix.
Mean machine.
That was
I love that game,
perfection.
dude. It's a great game.
I think it just
only time
released
with
it.
Flop.
It's the only time where the chicken and the drill robot really shine.
Oh, I used to know their names.
Babak and Bolts.
That's probably closer than.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we'll find
probably
out.
closer than you want to think.
Someone Google it.
got
But let's see. We're not gonna do any quick indie news today, but we're gonna jump right into the topic of the show. I didn't do timestamps. Fuck me sideways. Gotta do manual work later. It's fine. So we got some early access keys, so thank you so much to the team over there at Motion Twin for setting us up with early access to the game. But we've been playing Windblown. Windblown was revealed at the Game Awards pre-show in 2023. Windblown is an upcoming action roguelike from the team at Motion Twin. The Steam description reads, brave the vortex and dash your way to greatness in this lightning-fast action roguelike for 1 to 3 players from the crafters of Deadcell. Absorb the powers of fallen warriors, rebuild their weapons, and wipe the floor with those sentinels in the search of that perfect run. I have a few extra details here before we talk about the actual game. This was embargoed information, so this is the first time you're hearing this now. Unless you follow Windblown, then you might have heard it. But Windblown will be launching in early access starting on Steam on October 24th. But from October 14th through October 21st, there'll be a single-player demo available that features the first biome of the game that you can download and play. And then all your progress from the demo will carry over to the early access release starting on October 24th. So if you want to check in the game for free, and get a little bit of access there, you can carry your stuff over and continue from there. But we've been playing Windblown, so who wants to talk about it?
Before we do, the
Yeah.
chicken and mole was called Scratch and Grounder.
Yes,
So I said-
yes, they are. They are.
Which, so you were closer than any of us would like to admit.
Grounder and Bolts are like the same word, really. So
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Scratcher and Babak, basically the same.
Babak?
Thing.
how did I just name drop just in perfect? You like Google that, you're like, what the fuck? How do you
no,
know that?
I would have been like, oh, Danny's really secretly a Sonic kid.
I was a Sonic
And
X kid, but not the
Sonic X was
classic.
cool.
Gotta go fast.
No, Windblown was like, what an interesting departure from Deadcell
Mhm.
from this developer. I think I expected more 2D games when I saw it because
Yeah.
they had like Deadcell has sort of that like Donkey Kong Country almost style where it's like kind of 3D models in a 2D space. And so I kind of expected more like that in unique styles, but the fact that Windblown went almost and I don't want to do this to a game that's just coming out like but like the isometric fast paced action is very like Hades-esque.
Yeah,
It feels like a flavor of roguelike at this point, honestly.
for sure. Yeah, the
But,
Hades like.
But that is that was really fun. And the dashing is like really responsive in like a huge part of the game. Plus all the weapons feel good.
Yeah, the weapons are great. I know that initial trailer showed like how fast this game was going to be, and I think my concern was that it was going to be like it was all kind of in my control not to dash myself off the map and not like suck, but it is very
Yeah.
contained. Like you're not. I don't think you're capable of dashing off the map if you end up on the wrong path. That's just another path that you can find other shit on. So yeah, there's not a concern of being like, oops, I died and got to restart here. It is all just dying to the actual like enemies. But I really dug this. I got it the night I got the email. I shot a message in Discord and I was like, hey, I got 2 keys for a roguelike. First come, first serve. Both Connor and Chris hopped on it. And I was like, cool, you guys get keys for Windblown. And then Chris is like, hey, actually, I don't have time. So give it to Kani. So we got to sit down and play over the weekend. And I had a blast. I'm really fucking with this game. This is really cool.
It's a lot of fun. I can't wait for more content to drop.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it a lot, and I think if this game shows one thing, it's that the team with remind me, Danny, Motion Twin has a knack for style in a variety. Like the game is stylish in a way that I think it took me a second. I think you said, man, this is different than Deadcell. And I went, oh yeah, they are the Deadcell guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whoa, this is way different. Yeah. But like I love the difference in like Deadcell is that like dark grungy like aesthetic and world, and then this is like very bright and colorful. And I think seeing that in comparison to one another is really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's super interesting. I will say that I tend to be on the opposite side of the weapons. I think that a lot of them feel useful.
Okay.
but I think some of the attack patterns feel clunky. Specifically, the weapon that was just being used right there, the fish knife. I know, Connor, you're a fan of the fish knife.
I've become really reliant on it.
I don't like the 3-hit combo, and I feel like it takes a really long time to recover. That's just a weapon preference thing. That's not me digging at the game. But like, I like that all of the weapons feel different, a lot like Deadcells. Like, and some of the weapons are very much like, oh, this was a Deadcell staple. The kunai, when I saw that, I was like, this was a Deadcell staple.
Yeah.
Even the bolt repeater or whatever kind of feels like the crossbow.
Yeah. I think the other big one for me was like the weird shapes of the swords. I was like, yeah, this feels like a Deadcell's weapon.
Oh yeah, dude, the big like there's with a raven feather sword or whatever.
Yep.
And it is just like a huge feather.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one.
There's also a really we're gonna hop around a lot. This is anything we discuss again. There's a really cool like almost like the floating island aesthetic is like video game classic at this point.
Yeah.
Like it's great, but like also the fact that it's like you said this very colorful fantasy like thing, but then there's that like kind of neon punk sort of feel to it too, because your character's all kitted out and glowing stuff, and like you leave all these like light lines when you dash. It's really cool.
I think one of the immediate things when I was trying to remember who the developer was, I was like, oh yeah, the guys who made Hyperlight Drifter. I can see that in like every aspect of this game, the colors, the dashing, and then I was like, no, that's another game. They made a whole different game.
This is I didn't even think of that. This is kind of Hyperlight-ish.
It is a little Hyperlight-ish.
Very Solar Ash. Yeah.
And I like I said, when I realized it was the Deadcells guys again, I was like, man, yeah, they are good at like varying their games. Like for instance, like the roguelike master at this point, Hades, right? Like Hades 2. Like if you showed me Hades, if you showed me any other Supergiant game, I'd be like, yeah, this is a Supergiant game. It looks exactly like the art style that they have in Pyre, that looks exactly like the art style they have in Bastion, that looks exactly like the art style they have in any of their games. And I don't want that to sound like I don't enjoy that. I do. It's very like solidified. And it is branding in and of itself, but it's cool to see a studio that can go this different with its own work.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a taste to it, right? That makes it feel comfortable. With like, I do enjoy Hades. I do enjoy Heart Machine style. And then being able to be like, take what we feel confident in with all the things we do in Dead Cells with the diversity and the weapons. And even there's a special chart that we got for having the keys that showed like this even had like, this was limited weapons. There was only so much you can get here.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's still like an asterisk on like early access and what's going to be available. So I don't know what will all be included when it officially drops. But even like here in the footage you're looking at, there's like the guitars, which like I think I dabbled with a lot at the beginning when I first got them, but very quickly the kunais became a pretty staple for my kit. And then I would like to bounce between the Raven blade and then was the heavy blade, heavy sword.
Heavy blade,
heavy sword,
yeah. I'm a sucker for both of those. I like the swords. I'm waiting to see like if there's roguelikes with gauntlets, do it for me.
Oh yeah.
If I can get there's gauntlets or something, I'm in.
Deadcells, one of my favorite weapons from Deadcells was the Spartan sandals.
Yep.
And I would love a version of that here where like because the big thing in Deadcells for anyone who has, we've all played, but for anyone who hasn't, is like the Spartan sandals just Spartan kick people. It's exactly what it sounds like. But if they're next to a wall, it's like an instant kill. It's a lot of damage. So it would be really cool in this game to like, if an enemy was near that and you hit them with that, they get pushed off or something, or it almost had like an execute effect like that. That'd be a really fun weapon. And that's a weapon I could absolutely see these guys making, because Dead Cells had a ton of stuff in it.
I think they would do something really cool with it. From the initial trailer, I think I said while we were playing, the initial trailer made the sim was gonna be a lot gorier. Maybe not gory, but like the whole thing starts with like the teacher's like, hey, you're gonna do these runs, right? And the kid gets distracted, so he smacks him with the stick, and his nose starts to bleed. And they go on a couple runs, they're getting literally squished and blood squirts like everywhere. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like a messy one, like not unlike Dead Cells, but Dead Cells was still very like more weighed towards the cartoony stuff. So seeing this game, and maybe just the build we got doesn't quite have it yet, but it was not anywhere near as bloody as I thought it was going to be. But no, I'm a sucker for the loop right now, where it's basically it's roguelike. You run in, you pick up the new items, you find the things, you upgrade them. I know the Blade Tornado, whatever it was called. I was a big fan of that one.
Or Death Orb.
And Death Orb, yeah. But there's the Death Orb and there's the actual
I know you
like,
talked
tornado.
a lot about Death Orb, so I didn't know.
Death Orb is my shit. That was basically like
Death
Ares in Hades. I'm like, I'll grab Death Orb every time I can.
There was one thing that was really cool about, especially a game in early access, is this game already had a really good identity of like play styles.
Yeah.
Like I think all of us kind of had a moment where we were like, oh yeah, we like, you could totally rely on the Kunai's Applied Curse, which is just a status. But like there were upgrades that were like, hey, your curse spreads to enemies if they die while they have it, or stuff like that. So it's like, oh, you can do a whole curse build. There's a point I kept getting stuff that would lower my I think they're called trinkets.
Yep.
It's like your active items. So like I kind of had a trinket build going on, and like again, this is we had access to it pre-early access. Like the fact that all of that is already solidly in the game. Like I'm really excited to see what weapons we couldn't get our hands on and what different like play styles that entirely changes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of like I'm hoping they start making like weapon combo specific transitions. I think would be cool.
Okay.
We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, because they have for context, there's a primary and a secondary weapon in the game. If you press, I guess depending on your controller, for me I use Xbox controller when I'm playing on PC, so it's either X or Y, or if you're playing on controller for PlayStation, it's either square or triangle. But one is your primary, the other one is your secondary, and you can allocate it however it feels comfortable. But once you hit a certain point in a combo, it'll let you do a transitional move, which will switch you over to the other one and do high damage. I do think it would be very like fitting for the team if it was like, oh, I was using a crossbow and a sword, so like it'll do a special move, like the crossbow shoot a big bolt, and then I'll do like a big jump attack with the sword, and it's like a unique transition for those two weapons. I think it's simpler the way they did it, and I don't dislike it, but I think seeing those would make it like that much more unique for the people who have set combos. Yeah. Like I know when I was playing, I really liked the crossbow because the crossbow is like a timing mechanic that makes your hits instant crits. And then I really like the heavy sword because if I needed to get in close, the heavy sword has like you would jump, spin, and then do a big slam attack, which would hit multiple enemies. It gets you in or out of danger, and it also does like a big area of effect. So there's like a lot of bonuses in that combo for me.
I was and it might be a cool thing where we talked about the Raven sword, like if they did like, you know, another weapon that was like in theme with that, and then maybe that had like a special like almost set bonuses or something would be really cool. But yeah, no, that was a really cool thing to like, and the fact that depending on what weapon you were using that second attack with or the special attack with, like changed entirely what the move was.
Yeah, like the in my instance with the big sword and the crossbow, if you switch to the crossbow, it's like a big charge shot, and if you switch to the big sword, you do like a big buzzsaw attack midair. Yeah. So like each weapon having its own is like a great thing to have because it makes it feel that much more unique. I think if you did those combos, that would like reward certain oh look, we just saw one of them, one of the switch attacks on the gameplay. So but I think having that like little extra of like, oh, this pairs with this and does that, I think that would be dope.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, leading into some of the co-op stuff, but I guess before that, as you're exploring the world and you're beating enemies, they'll drop these like glowing beams that are called memories. And you'll take these memories back to the hub world and you turn those into this like robot character along with like currency. So they're hidden behind the Playlog logo, so y'all can't see in the video version. But there's like dust, there's crystals, there's cogs, and there's shells. And you pick these up, and when you go back to the hub, you can use those. Well, the shells used to buy upgrades in the run. The cogs you can use to get consistent updates, like start a run with an extra weapon or 2 extra weapons or an extra trinket, or increase your flasks so you can heal more. And then the different dusks you can get to unlock those memories, which will give you a different type of weapon. I remember I unlocked the Ninja Stars, the Death Orb we talked about. So giving all those different things will add new ways to play and extra items you can pick up. Here you can see one of the memories, the refilling crystallize. Crystallize is a whole extra mechanic. If you see the big LB pop up where you just smash an enemy, basically obliterating them after like so many combos. Yeah. So there's always like new things to unlock.
But you can all do it at the same time, which is
it's pretty clean. Like I think Kani, you called out like it's very Power Rangers ass mode where you just like all three just like
all doing like jump kick attack on one big guy is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. But in the co-op, because Kani was doing the tutorial as Connor and I were doing our first run. What did you guys think about the way the co-op worked?
It was pretty good. I think there could be some quality of life. Like, it wasn't really clear if you weren't right next to start a run, you like get shot out of a cannon. So if you weren't like next to the cannon, you weren't really aware you were the one people were waiting on. It was pretty free to like everyone could go talk to whoever they needed in the hub. So that was kind of like nice. I didn't have to wait. There were some moments where it was a little laggy, but again, it's early access and local hosted. So
I think the one thing about the co-op I don't like is, unfortunately, the what is it called? The like death mechanic in co-op.
Oh,
so, like,
yeah, that's pretty brutal.
If one teammate goes down, the next time any of the other teammates are hit, they instant die.
Yeah,
and that is so crippling to the gameplay, because you go from this like fast-paced, haphazard, like dashing around, rewarding certain play styles, to like instantly I have to stay back and look for openings. And if you're already in the middle of that dash and somebody gets taken out and you get hit subsequently, dead. I think I don't think it happened in an. We're starting to do the emotes. I don't think it happened in any of the.
We'll talk about the emote. It's like that's we found the best one.
I don't think you. I don't think you should like punish players for their play style.
Sorry for audio listeners, you're not seeing it. Just to interrupt Kani, but for video listeners, the right stick is the emotes, and you go up, down, left, right for whichever one you want to do. Or if you just spin the stick, you you do them all.
Just goes crazy.
So that became our favorite thing.
There was a point earlier I started laughing because I think I was doing it during a boss battle. I was just like walking at them. But anyway, yeah. So like, I don't know if we've seen the clip of it yet, but there was a boss fight where it was, I think Connor went down first, or I went down first. One of us went down first, and the other two died almost immediately to an AoE attack. And we were both like, man, that did way more damage than I remember from my solo run. Come to find out later, you just instant die if you get touched.
Yeah.
So like the smallest enemy ranged attack, and you have to like kill so many enemies to get them back up. And it's not that like I don't enjoy the challenge. It just feels like such a hard shift from the fast play style that the rest of the game presents.
Yeah.
To then just become so careful.
It would almost be better if it was like you take increased damage for every person that's down.
Yeah, I would be able to accept that. I would accept that, or if there was a way to like physically pick them up rather than having to defeat enemies in one hit. I think it's the combination of those two things that makes it hard. I think if there was like one or two that were like, okay, you can go over, hold this button, you'll pick them up. If there's like a down state, and then like after 3 times, then it becomes that. I think that's reasonable, because there's like a, hey guys, I'm on my second death, my second death. Let's stay a little bit more careful. And then like that person can switch to ranged weapons and like switch up their playstyle a little bit. I think that is a little bit more like rewarding in the game's playstyles and like weapon selection. But if there was one complaint I had about the game so far, based on like co-op and everything, is that is such a dramatic shift in tone. But there are moments where that feels great. Like, and again, I don't know if the clip will show, but there was a moment where both Danny and Connor were down, and the only enemy left was like a mini boss. So it was me against this mini boss, and like coming out on top of that and reviving them both felt amazing. That's a great feeling. Like, oh my god, I did it! I overcame that challenge. Didn't even get hit. Felt awesome. However, like at any moment, if I was hit at all, that chance is just thrown out the window.
Yeah, I like you had mentioned like if it was equivalent to how many teammates are down. Like if it is 2 of you are down, I'm taking more damage. If it's just one, I think I agree with that. I like that idea. Is kind of making it not necessarily easier. I don't like it easy. I got very excited the moment it happened, and it's to be like, well, yo, when Connor went down the first time, I was gassed, man. But I remember I saw sudden death, but didn't really put together like what that even meant. I saw the number above my head, like this is how I need to get Connor back. So let me focus that.
Times.
Yeah, and then when Connor finally called it out, I'm like, oh, that's actually like the adrenaline kind of started pumping, where I was like, I need to do better and make sure I don't die.
Now,
and I kept connecting it to like the Borderlands, like what's that when you go down like fight for your life. Yeah, not that you're doing it yourself, but like I'm fighting for your life. Like I need to get you back up. And I guess that if that's a narrative beat, where like the Leapers, that's the name of your characters, that were tethered in some way like that, I'm like kind of cool with it. But yeah, it's definitely it's a steep challenge jump, like suddenly.
Yeah,
I will say we did find out at one point that there's like a bunch of little like just meaningless like these
little
guys. They do count towards enemies slain. So if you just find a whole bunch of them, you pretty much get a free revive,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice. But like,
And then some bosses
think,
are worth more too. Like I think the
I
one
think
boss
that's
worth like
the
10 points.
worst. Yeah, I think that's the worst balanced part of this for multiplayer though, because everything else is like the only thing that's personalized to your. Well, okay, they do like loot sharing really well.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like if you get the upgrade to start with the choice of weapons or trinkets, like you only see those. So your partners can't pick those up. But then every item that drops throughout the run is shared.
Mm-hmm.
But like currencies evenly split.
Yep.
Like everyone, if you pick up one like crystal or whatever, like everyone gets a crystal. It's not just goes to the person who grabbed it. So everything else is pretty well balanced for multiplayer. It's just that you're right, the death mechanics like really brutal.
Yeah. Real quick, if anyone's watching the video one, we just hit the sudden death, so you might be able to see what we're talking. We're like sitting there.
I think this is where we figured it out.
Yeah,
too.
I'm sitting over Connor, I'm like,
put together.
I don't know how to get him up, and we're like looking at the screen, like, oh, I see.
And I didn't even know. We didn't even know if you could see, because people were in cutscenes that we couldn't see too. Like this game does not stop your progress, which is really awesome.
Yes, I think I always jump back to comparing it to Monster Hunter World, where there was the if you want to play with friends, they have to go on the mission, watch the cutscene, back out, or shoot a flare, then your friends can join. It's always like this rapid thing to do, right? And I think Monster Hunter Rise was a lot better with that, and this does a thing where like I did like 5 or 6 runs my first night, and I unlocked certain characters in the hub world, and then when we got together, Connor, you hadn't unlocked I think the robot guy for the memories or somebody, or maybe that was Kani. But like when we found that spot, there's a little encounter that takes place, and we did the encounter, but then somewhere here there's a clip of me and Connor staring at Kani. I'm like, I think he's losing his fucking mind. He's talking to nothing. And he's like, on his screen, it was Sigourney, the frog. And we're like, he's losing his fucking mind over there. And like, obviously, Kani seeing the cutscene, which was great because it didn't stop me and Connor at all. We got to keep doing whatever.
Did it do a weird thing where you could interact with the NPCs, but you couldn't see them though? Was there like a weird thing with that? Yeah, it
was kind of weird, but
there's always like early access is going to be great.
I think Connor, you had mentioned like sharing items. Like I think the currency share is perfect. I think that's great.
Yes.
The first couple runs we did co-op, we did kind of have to distinguish like what is shared, what isn't. I don't know if I love the weapon sharing, and maybe this is the choice of like, do we pick a mode? Like, do we want it that everyone can get something or only one person gets something? But like a new sword drops, we're like, cool, who needs something? And like, it's the first one. So we all kind of have to decide like, who wants to upgrade first? Okay, let Connor take the sword. But like, that's it. That's the one sword. And then we get to the next one. It's like, oh, now the kunai's dropped, and maybe Kani gets one, or we get new kunai, so we can upgrade Kani. So I have to take Kanai's old ones, but they're only level 1. So they're not great for where we're at. I think if there was an option for everyone to kind of level up equivalent like there, I think that was one of the issues I've had the most with Risk of Rain, where like, if I die early enough in a run, and then you guys go and you power up, you're getting new items and everything, and then I'm behind. This is less like that. But it's always my first instinct to be like, if there's a chance I can get left behind because my friends are alive and I'm not, or they're picking up items and I'm not. I think in a call like this where we're friends and we can actually discuss like, hey, I need the item, less of an issue. But there will be matchmaking options for people to make lobbies. And if you hop in where you've got some greedy asshole who's just taking all the different items, I can see it being not fun for the person trying to find a party.
For a bonus in this game's department, like even while I was dead, I was getting upgrades.
Yeah. Okay.
So like you guys would go to a boost, and I would like I'd go into the menu, and then I could still get an upgrade. So like it's not as brutal as Risk of Rain, where like that is an issue. But
as far as the boosts, I think those are great. Although but I think as far as what weapons people get or when you can get weapons, I think that could definitely, I can see that being grueling. It only gives you the first 2 biomes, so it's not insanely difficult. But I know this will get harder, and I'm wondering how much harder that's going to be later when not everyone's getting new stuff all the time.
I'm not super thrilled with only having like 3 slots for boosts or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever, what the memories or whatever.
Yeah.
But like
the trinkets,
the things that like really kind of affected how you played.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about like things that would like affect your curse or like your item cooldown or whatever. Like you only have 3 slots for that, and then it'll get like replaced pretty much.
Yeah. I think we just saw the clip that I was talking about where he came back and saved it.
We hit the clip where I got the mini boss for you guys.
Mm-hmm. I would think there's a, I can't think of his name. There's a wolf character that you use to trade in your cogs, and that's how you upgrade and get stuff. I could see, I don't think it's in there now, at least not in the build we had. But I could totally see that being the place, like unlock a 4th trinket slot, unlock a 5th trinket slot. And if that's the case, awesome. Nowhere have I seen that will or will not be the case, but if there was, that's where I could see that being a possibility.
I'm gonna hope this gets as much content as like Dead Cells did.
Yeah.
Dead Cells got like a ton of levels and stuff. I mean, like I had gone back and played it a bit ago, and that was like, my God, there was so much stuff that I hadn't ever seen before. And you know, I do runs where I didn't even see the same level twice, and so like I'm hoping this gets that kind of like content level too, because I can see myself playing this more than Dead Cells.
Yeah, I think this made me want to go back, and I've never finished Dead Cells, and I know like Chris not being here, Chris is like, as of late, the more recent Dead Cells guy, and just wanting to go all in on it. I'm very interested in going back and playing Dead Cells to kind of fill the space until I get like more of this. Similar to Hades, where like Hades 2 is kind of a complete, almost near complete early access build. Where like, I don't think this is going to be that. I think they show in the list how many biomes there will be, but I'm sure we'll have our 1.0 one day that'll have the finish of the game. And I'm hesitant because I want to play more, but I'm like, well, I want to play more in early access and then hop in every couple months for an extra biome or whatever. Or
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just going to wait, probably.
But also, I might get keys, so I might just also have it anyway.
Listen, if you get keys again, I'm going to say no.
There you go. Yeah, no, I think this would be a fun one to stream. I think just sitting there dicking around in a call alone, just playing it with the embargo and everything. I think we had enough fun. I think seeing the new biomes and everything else would be great.
Along with like a one-off, we're talking like a series.
You know what? Listen, if we just have once a week, we want to hop on and play some fucking Windblown, I'm game.
Listen, Danny, if you need 2 roguelike guys to carry you, can have a better cast right here.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm totally down. Yeah, I think we'd have a blast playing Windblown like consistently. One of the other things you get in the game are the options to pick some really kooky animals.
Oh, they're so good.
Which I love. We had noted, and I'm pretty sure they found the same list I did by just Googling weird animals. Because there is not the guinea pig, but there is the pangolin, there's the basilisk, there's the axolotl. Oh my God,
the fact there's pangolin representation in games finally.
Yeah, I think
I love those. Monster Hunter Wilds has it too. It's the year of the pangolin, baby.
I think the pangolin personally is my favorite design. But I was like, oh, Connor's playing the pangolin, so I've been playing the basilisk,
They're
which I
my
really
favorite animal. I have to.
But if we were to get like another weird animal added in for like a character selection, like what do you guys like? What's another weird animal you'd want in there?
So I think we talked about this a little bit while we were playing. Just kind of like, oh, it'd be fun to see this or it'd be fun to see that. So as far as like when I think of weird animals, like it's hard for me to not be like, oh, I want to play as a lion or oh, I want to play as this thing that I like. But I think if I set that aside and then just pick like a weird animal in their style to like see them make badass, because like the guinea pig has like an eye patch and armor, and the pangolin is like this big bruiser type looking character, and like the bat is like this like really swift rogue looking character. The like aesthetic of the characters also like plays off of the animal really well, which I think is cool. And I think if I had to pick an animal that I wanted to see what they would do with it, I would pick a tapir. Because, like, who really thinks about tapirs, you know, unless you're like at a zoo or like if it is your favorite animal. But like, yeah, I think that would be a cool goofy one that they could do something interesting with.
I mean, there are, it's not a playable character, but there are like eyes in the game. So I think that's one that I'm like would be cool. But like
the 3 eyes in a trench coat at the shop.
I think for one that's not in the game, like honestly, give me if we're gonna get weird, let's go to the like mantis shrimp would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Maybe like a super colorful like shrimp guy. I'd play as shrimp.
Ooh, that would be fun. I like it because I think I look at the axolotl, which like not a land creature, but we've made it like a type land creature here. By default, I feel like I wanted to say platypus, but I almost don't think platypus is weird anymore. I feel like any game that can throws in a platypus.
Like the poster child weird creature. So
exactly. Since I'm enjoying basilisk, but it's not exactly what I want. I almost want the frilled neck lizard that has like the cool like
I think
that'd be another cool one.
That'd be fun. That'd be a fun one.
Either that or when I was looking at the weird animal list, they also had naked mole rat, star-nosed mole, and Japanese spider crab.
Star-nosed mole would go hard.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Star-nosed mole would go real hard.
Just like punk guy, he's just like, I would love to have sunglasses. Be like, oh, he's a mole, he's blind, he can't see. But just be like big old flared nose and like maybe like a leather jacket and some shit. Be like, let's fucking go. Like, that'd be a cool one.
The other thing we said about the platypus becoming like the poster child of weird animals, I think that axolotl is swiftly becoming that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And so like I almost think that it'd be cool
Oh,
if we
this
got
is where-
the murder walk.
We're like, all right, guys, be cool. Again, YouTube, we're like, the boss is up these stairs. We're gonna walk all cool. Like, are we doing it? And we're like, oh, we're really off, huh? You know,
the other one that would be cool, just because like it would look similar to things people are familiar with, but probably don't know the name of, is like a hellbender or something.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah. They're salamanders, Danny. They
Okay,
look
yeah,
like
I was trying to think.
salamanders,
I was like, let me see.
I have a
these
sticker
things
holding a burrito on my water bottle.
Yo, wait, that'd be really cool.
right?
It's this idiot.
Just a little gecko.
Well, the camera can see that.
He's so goopy.
Gecko
my leg.
salamander looking guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of better.
Let's see if we fucking watch ourselves get fucking thrashed by this boss.
Oh
here.
yeah.
Bro, this guy's
Yeah.
brutal. No, yeah, it's a really fun. Like, there's a lot this game's doing that. It almost sounds like an insult, but it's not. Like, it's not doing anything that's not being done, but it's just doing it well. And
Yeah.
like, there's something to be said in a flooded market of like not only indie games but roguelikes. Like, oh my god, it feels like every other week there's a roguelike.
Yeah. Always.
I'm not complaining. It's like one of my favorite genres, but it's just, you know, there's a lot out there. So it's kind of nice to be like, okay, we're not going to do anything crazy new or like a gimmick or anything, but we are just going to do a really solid game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that also speaks to the team, because that's kind of how Dead Cells was. Dead Cells came out and
It's
it was
true.
like, you've had your Rogueless Legacies, you had the games that are similar to it. Now here is a game that has like a similar style to other games done differently, and also a gameplay that you've seen before but done differently. And I think that really made Dead Cells shine, because it gave us something we were familiar with, but something that felt almost either better or on par with what we were used to.
Now that I'm watching it and not like playing it,
Yeah.
it's even kind of reminded me of like Fury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
like,
definitely this
just the
boss
kind of bullet heli.
does a lot more of the top down type deal. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how I fucking
Yeah,
died. There were
yeah,
bombs.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, this is about where it all went down, because I
Yeah.
think I died and then Danny got hit by that immediately.
Yeah.
I sat there, I'm like, how did I die? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. Damn it. I want to beat that boss. I want to go in there and kick his ass. I'm like, we were so close. We have like
Yeah.
what, 2/3?
Watching him beat my ass again made me want to go get him.
Yeah. Well, we had. There was. I think after that we would have beaten what we had for the access. So we'll have to try and do that. But yeah, I dug this game a lot. I'm excited to play more. I'm hoping for more animals, more content. Just based off the legacy of Dead Cells, seeing that got content. I think I dropped in 2017, and this year was like the last content update. And they kind of did a thing where I think Motion Twin made the game, and then Evil Empire did a lot of the DLC content and kind of kept it going. So I don't know if that'll be their plan again, where like we got here's our basic build of what we want for Windblown. We're going to keep making content, but then we're going to hand off to another team. We're going to start our next game so we can keep doing something brand new. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really cool one. I think I've said before with like roguelikes almost became 2D platformers were like everybody's first indie game. I'm making my first game, let me make a 2D platformer. And now it seems like it becomes roguelikes. And there are so freaking many. I think there's probably like 3 or 4 on the list for like upcoming releases this week.
Which like is insane because they have to be a lot of work.
I'm sure.
Like compared to a platformer, like yeah, you got to make a whole like game and story and stuff. But like roguelikes, you got to make a ton of items that like work and don't break everything. And then, like
you imagine something comes out and they're actually like easier than you think. Like all you do is program the items, and a whole lot of it is like just random generation.
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's really like you have to design everything, but it's basically just doing a bunch of math. Like, okay, whenever we get this item, take this number times 10, and if this gets added, take this number times 5 or whatever that is. Really, not to simplify game development because it's not easy, but I could see roguelikes being a lot more plug the numbers than make the pretty art. Especially because I know there's one we'll talk about this week that's basically just like a roulette machine that is a roguelike game. Like, oh, interesting. Like, there's a lot of style to it, but I don't know if it'll be a lot of work, I guess. That sounds shitty to say, but...
Is that the one I keep making the joke about?
I don't... Oh, no, not that one. Not the Balatra looking one.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get to it soon, though. But yeah, any other thoughts on Windblown?
Great game. Put it, on your wish list and keep an eye out because I feel like it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it is dumb.
Yeah, I think roguelikes, and this sounds reductive, but like roguelikes at this point are dime a dozen. You find the ones you like, you find the ones you don't. Finding a good one that feels good in co-op is special in my mind. I feel like there's a lot of them that either feel like adding another person makes it too easy, or the difficulty ramps up way too much and it almost feels impossible. And I think this game feels motivatingly hard. Like it gives me that like, fuck, we almost had it. Like we need to go back and do it again. And I like it a lot. I can see myself getting lost in this for a couple of days and like really getting into it.
Hell yeah. Super excited. Quick reminder, a few more details about it. Again, Windblown will be launching in early access starting October 24th, but there will be a single player demo, just a single player. So if you're ready for the multiplayer, it's not in this demo. That'll be early access. But the single player demo will be October 14th through the 21st, and all your progress for that will carry over to the early access build. So if you're hankering for it, you'll have about a little over 10 days before you can play Windblown for yourself. So yeah, that'll be exciting.
Talking about all this makes me want to play Raven's Watch too.
Listen, that just went in 1.0. I think they added an extra character and stuff, so it's out.
Wukong's fun in it. I can tell you that much.
I have not played since we did our stream. I have to, listen, I'm down.
I've never bought it.
Listen, was that a 3 or was that a 4 player?
You would love it too. It's crazy.
I forget if that was a 3 or 4 player one.
I think it was a 3.
Fuck it. God damn it, guys. It's just
we got stop. Hey, gaming industry, make 4 players.
Let's make it 4. Listen, some of us have friends, okay? I know not a lot of gamers. Oh, did you
make it 5?
You know what? 10.
You know what?
Double it, baby.
Yeah, let's just go 10. When you're at 10, you might as well do 20.
Every roguelike should be an MMO, honestly. That's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing.
Succeed where frag failed. 80 people lobbies.
Succeed where frag failed.
Roguelike lobbies.
100 leapers drop into a roguelike. Anyway, real quick, because we're going to talk about what we've been playing. But first, before we talk about what we've been playing, I did say I locked Tofr up into a room to play some mini games this week. So, in a weird way where the typical co-host is just not on this episode, here's Tofr talking about some games he's been playing.
Hey everyone, Tofr here. I just couldn't let Danny have all the fun this week, so here I am with the 2 games I've been playing this week that I feel deserve your attention. I do have to preface this by adding that I received keys for both of these games from the devs, but with that said, let's dive in.
This is heaven.
First up is The Holy Gosh Darn, a divinely funny time travel adventure by Perfectly Paranormal. In this game, you play the Archangel Cassiel, who at the start is spending all of eternity guessing which breed the next dog who enters heaven will be, and that's pretty much it. Humans never make it up there, so all there is to do is just play this silly game. That is until heaven gets invaded by a bunch of phantoms. Apparently, death goofed up somewhere, and in doing so has doomed heaven as the arrival of the phantoms signals its end. So it's up to you and death, and the swanky clock he gives you, to make the most of your time to figure out how to stop heaven from being destroyed. To do this, you have to find the titular Holy Gosh Darn, an artifact of immense power. Except, well, you have no idea what it is. And to find it, you have to get into the vault, but the vault's attendant is soundly asleep by the time you make it there. So you use your clock to go backwards and forwards through time, traveling across heaven, Helheim, hell and earth, all trying to escape the total annihilation of your home and the end of your own existence. And it's a total blast doing so. It has to be said, most of the game is spent running around doing fetch quests, with dialogue options and some light puzzles being the only other gameplay elements. But if you enjoy these, you'll definitely have a hell of a good time playing this. It reminded me a lot of Night School Studios' After Party, which can only be a good thing. The voice acting is on point, the animations look fantastic, the writing is incredibly witty, and the game plays like a joy. Just don't swear while you're in hell. The second game I've played this week is Worlds of Aria, which I also streamed on Twitch last Sunday. This is a game that takes a lot from Dungeons & Dragons, but in a completely different way than something like Baldur's Gate 3. You are dropped into this fantasy setting, playing solo with some AI companions or in a party with your friends, and the game basically boils down to which decisions are you going to take. Every situation in the game gives you a number of options on what to do, and every member of the party can decide for themselves which of these to choose. This can lead to some great teamwork, but it might just be an opportunity for chaos as well. Each story is introduced with narration by the incredible Laura Bailey, who you might know from Critical Role. There are a number of characters to choose from, each with their own race and class, and more importantly, each with their own backstory as well. I won't spoil the stories you get to play, as they are easily one of the highlights of the game, but let's just say that they're perfect for fantasy fans old and new. The writing is of a very high level, and the game really adjusts well to your wins and your failures, because yes, failure is very much an option here. This brings me to one of the only slight critiques I have of the game. Contrary to most TTRPGs, your aim is to roll as low as possible with your dice. Your stats are expressed in percentages, and your D100 rolls have to be below that percentage to be successful. This is an interesting take on a tried and tested formula, but with your starting percentages being pretty low, it makes the chances of success particularly more challenging than in traditional D&D, for example. You do have powers that will aid you in getting better rolls, but I still felt the challenge was pretty high. But since failure is an option, getting bad rolls is just another way of advancing the story, and you're definitely getting bang for your buck here. This is just such a great time, with the game's devs clearly understanding what makes TTRPGs so much fun. I bet the game is even more fun when you play it with friends, and the Friend Pass allows you to only own one copy of the game and still play it with your friends, which is a great addition. So, that's my 2 cents for this week. Both of these games come highly recommended, and I hope you'll give either a chance. See you next week.
I was gonna do a bit. I was gonna do a bit where I grab the keyblade and like I'll unlock the door. Like,
Don't you let him out.
Sorry,
I put him in there for a reason.
Just trying to help the guy. I just wanted to meet him. I just want to say hi. Sorry.
No, they're staying in there. Tofr, finish your games. Damn it. Anyway, so guys, what have we been playing? Anyone want to talk about what they've been playing?
So literally right before we started this, I meant to buy it before, but Witchfire.
Yeah.
Which is really fun. It's an early access. It's another roguelike first-person shooter, but like, it's pretty good. It feels good. That's the best I can say right now. I haven't gotten in the nitty-gritty of it, but it feels pretty good. What I've been dumping all my time into has been Risk of Rain.
Okay, let me pull up the Risk of Rain one.
I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain 2 because the new update Seekers of the Storm came out a while ago, which admittedly was a bit of a hot mess.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know the drama, I'm going to get into the drama real quick. Hopu Games originally developed Risk of Rain 2 and Risk of Rain 1, and then jumped into, they supported it through a lot of updates, full release, and then one expansion, which was Survivors of the Void, and then sold the IP to Gearbox. So now Gearbox is developing Risk of Rain 2, so this is the first real big update we've seen from them, and it was a full-size expansion. And it came with a lot of bugs that people were complaining about, and then on like the scale of content was kind of not on the same level as Seekers or Survivors of the Void. So that was a lot of issue. Like there weren't as many items. There were a lot of new stages, and there's a new way to beat the game and a bunch of skins and stuff. But I think a lot of people wanted more items and abilities that didn't get added into the game. But that being said, it's been very fun. It is a new challenge in the game that I find is like satisfyingly difficult. I've been going through, and you have to beat this new boss, which is shown on the trailer right now. The I believe it's the Lost Son or something like that. But you beat him, you unlock a new skin on all the characters, and then there's new characters to play, including Chef. Chef is back for you Risk of Rain heads.
You Risk of Rain heads out there.
But that's it. I don't want to harp too much. It's fun.
Sure.
I think it's worth it. But if you want to wait till it's out on consoles and fully fixed, go for it.
Yeah, I guess so. We talked about a little bit. We kind of just passed by in our like just private Discord conversation. I've seen so many people complaining about the update and the bugs. And the night we streamed it on your channel, I don't recall coming across any like bugs or game breaking things. So like, what was the beef with it?
There were just a lot of like, I think there was so there's still like a map that's I don't know if it's a bug or just bad placement, but where like some of the stuff spawns, if you try to get an item out of like a chest or like a shop, it'll just fall off the map. You won't get it.
Yeah.
There's like I've been running into a lot. I'm going through the entire list of characters until I get the skin, and then I'll move on to the next one. So I'm on Captain right now.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of times I've just pushed enemies through geometry.
Okay.
Like I'll hit them with a gun and they'll go through and then just fall. And I'm like, I mean, it's still a kill, but like, it's happened a handful of times now. And I'm like, I shouldn't just be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also not a lot of like new mechanics added in. This update, this event cares more about money. And like that's fine. Like that's fine. Not like in-game money, not like
gotcha. Yeah, you say with
so
Gearbox,
like,
I'm like,
yeah. You're right. Gearbox. I love the developer. They've made 2 games I really hold highly. I have a Borderlands tattoo, but like
Fuse, baby.
Hey man, this is not the opinions of CGDannyB. Randy Pitchford is doing some shit, man. that dude needs to take a step away. But no, it's just I think a bit of a disappointment compared to the quality we've had delivered.
Yeah.
Where the patience has been worth it, and this definitely does not feel like an expansion on the same scale as Survivors of the Void, and that feels really bad. But I still love the game, and it has a lot of character and heart to it, and it's really unique in like art direction and stuff out there.
Yeah.
So I would urge people to support it and try it because I think it's a very fun game with or without friends. Also, a very live modding community if you're into that.
There we go. We love mods. I made a call to Fuse, and that wasn't Gearbox, and I actually can't even find the game Fuse, and I can't picture what game it was. GameStop, there was like, it was orange cover art and like 4 buff heroes like with guns jumping towards you. You have any idea what I'm talking about?
Orange
That's
box
any
art.
video game.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
That's
I don't know how to
any video
find
game
it.
From like 2000 to like 2015.
I looked up Fuse video game and it came up immediately. It's made by Insomniac.
Hold on, let me see which is.
No, Insomniac doesn't make bad games. So
That's
that can't be
close.
right.
That's close, but that's also okay. So I did say Fuse, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. But I do remember that art. That is
Think
also
of
the orange art.
Fuel?
No, not Fuel.
Think of the car one.
Overstrike?
No, not Overstrike. Fuck, it's
Are
gonna
you
bug me
thinking
all
of, Are
day.
you thinking of what was that one? The Hive? Was that the?
Nope.
What was Agents
No.
of whatever? But
Not
that one
Agents
was
of
purple.
Mayhem. Yeah, that was
Oh man, were you thinking of a Saturday Night Showdown?
That's
Was that what you're thinking
it.
of?
Saturday night. No, it's not.
I actually that is like the box
Oh,
art
that shit.
for the key art for that game. So I was like, oh shit, did I actually just nail it?
Oh, I actually think you're just making something up.
No, that thing was like free on Steam
A
for a long time.
game?
It kept being advertised to me.
I just get a bunch of football. I don't know. It'll bug me the rest of the day, and I'll tweet about it or some shit.
Oh, what was it? Battleborn? Are you thinking Battleborn?
Listen, I want to forget about Battleborn. That was pristine, and honestly,
Guys.
should have got more love than Overwatch.
Everything looked cool. It didn't feel good. It didn't.
Yeah.
Hey.
You have to admit that.
What are you talking
It was a
about?
cool game. The art design was cool. The concept was cool. It didn't feel good.
You're probably just playing the wrong characters. El Dragon was peak.
Shane was fun. I liked Shane.
Hail Dragon!
I still have this little guy. This little critter.
I don't know. Orendi! My Montana is somewhere. I have no clue.
Lucky.
I wish I didn't
Yeah.
get her.
Yeah, I also got a Rendy.
Yeah. We try. It's all right. Battleborn's not indie, but Kani, what you been playing?
So something that doesn't look indie but is indie because I just had to Google it and make sure. I'm pretty sure. Everything I'm seeing says it is. So 2 games came out very back to back, and I was just like, man, which one do I play first? And I decided to do Wukong because everybody was gonna play Wukong. We eventually all beat that game. Some of us platinumed it, others are in the process. And there was one other game that I was like, God, I just want to beat Wukong and be done with it just so I can get to it because it's going to scratch an itch I haven't had scratched in like 5 years at least. And that is Warhammer 2 or Warhammer Screen 2. And fuck, dude, that game. And people are bitching about the balance of the multiplayer. Like they'll balance it eventually, but also the point of the game isn't to be balanced. It's to fulfill a power fantasy. And if I want to swing a big cool sword and hit a bunch of people with that, and you have to like do some power ups to kill me, okay, but it's fun, man. Just mowing down absolute hordes of these creatures, and like there are points where it feels overwhelming, but like when you overcome it, it feels so good. I haven't gotten a chance to play co-op yet, but like the versus mode feels good. The story's a lot of fun. The characters are like if you like the Helldivers, like, yeah, die for a cause, that is this game. This is Helldivers, like, on steroids. This game has been described to me as Doom Divers of War, and I love that because it's so accurate. No, really, really fun game. I've been playing this in between. I've been trying to get the Vampire Survivor Platinum, but, like, as far as, like, main game that I'm focusing on, this has been a blast.
Yeah, it looks like a blast. We talked about for a while, like, making this the co-op game, and then I think the co-op's only 3 players.
Yeah, hey, gaming industry.
Come on, guys.
We gotta talk about that number, man. You are literally fighting armies of aliens. You couldn't have given us one extra dude.
Yeah. I would love to know if there's a reason that it's just 3 just easier to do. Or is it just like, maybe people just find out they got filler.
It's easier to balance around 3, maybe, might be part of it.
Make it 4.
This game's just make it 4, because then if you only have 3 people, you can play with just 3 people.
Yeah,
right? Like,
because Kani, you haven't picked it up, or you haven't.
It's on my list. It's just like not. I don't know. I feel like I want to sit down and dedicate time to it, and I don't want to dedicate time to it right now. Is the problem?
I think the weirdest part
it
about
does
the
look
game.
Sick.
Yeah, I think the weirdest part about the game is that multiplayer, I think, is teams of 5 or 6. And when you are starting up a lobby of it, when you're starting up a lobby of it, you can only invite 2 other people. So I think it's lobbies of 6.
Oh,
I
it's
think
like
it's
Destiny matchmaking.
Yep.
Gross.
Yeah.
Ew.
So you can bring in 2 friends, but then you're stuck with 3 randos. And like, I don't know why. Why not just let me do the Call of Duty thing where it's like, oh, in co-op multiplayer, I can invite 1 friend. But then when I jump to zombies, I can invite 4 friends. But then when I jump to multiplayer, I can invite 6. Why not just add in that extra line of coding that says, let me invite all of my friends to play PvP? Because, like I said, the PvP in this game is great. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. And God, it's so goofy when you see like probably like 2,000-pound man in armor swinging from a grappling hook to drop kick you in the head.
Bro,
that's hilarious.
You still might be light.
I might still be light. Them some big bitches.
Them fuckers big.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there was the drop kick.
It's
Bro, it's so sick.
It looks fantastic.
Great.
I want to get into it.
Us talking about it in the call, or like, can I like looking stuff up or showing us stuff, has been the most like dudes finding sticks on TikTok shit, because we're just sitting in there and Kanai's like, bro, there's a guy with a hammer who just like squashes things, and we're just like, oh, that's so cool, oh my god, that's sick.
And you're selling Danny, we're like, hammer? There's a hammer in this game. Yeah. All right, I want to try it.
The goofiest thing about it is like the melee weapons are like big knife, chain sword, hammer, sword and shield, big fist, like a cartoonishly big fist are like the melee weapons.
And all of that sounds killer.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great.
I think the inconvenience of what you said about like the matchmaking, like being 3-player co-op and then the 6-player, but only really 3 of your players. Yep. Like all of that, I'm like, if that wasn't the issue, like that might be my barrier to entry. The night it came out, I was like sitting there on PlayStation ready to pick it up. And then you mentioned the 3-player, and I was just like, Connor, if you're going to hop in, I'm cool if this is your 3 games, and I'm kind of existing playing my endless list of other keys that I have to like to check out. But like the energy makes me just play Helldivers instead. Do I convince everyone to jump back into Helldivers?
Helldivers barely got an update and it's fun.
It did, yeah.
But that's the issue is because Danny has an endless list of indies. The only time we get to play games with him is if it's one of his indies, like Windblown, or else Danny is just stuck on his Sisyphusian grind.
It's a big ass rock. Just a bunch of
a big ass rock of indies.
Big ass fucking rock. The marker board's right over there. I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I have a dumb
7 embargoes.
Meaningless point I want to bring up when we are ready to end, because it's so off topic of everything this podcast is.
For sure.
So just let me know when that's gonna happen, so I can fit that in there.
Any other thoughts on Warhammer here?
Looks sick as hell. I've been complaining for years about wanting a Mass Effect 3 multiplayer experience, and Kanai says this might be the closest one I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely on my list, but it's just not my priority right now, and I really want to get it. Have you guys heard of the Cran Eater Legion people are doing online?
No.
I feel like it's a carryover from Destiny, since that's kind of going down the drain of like a lot of people who play Titan want to play this because this is a very Titan game.
Okay.
And so they're coloring their armor like all the limbs are different colors. And it's like, and they're just like, Cran Eater Legion, we are here, like just fucking making their own fandom legion of Warhammer guys that are just idiots.
That
Like,
sounds
it's so
awesome.
good.
I think the whole like character customization part of this game is hilarious because everybody's just like, look, I made, because there's like the Tekkens and the Street Fighters, right, where you make the characters physically look like other characters. I think the night I played Street Fighter 6, I sent everybody a thing and I was like, look, Eggman, and he just had like really long thin legs and just a ball for a body. But like in this game, you don't have that much customization, but the armor coloring is insane. So if I wanted to make like a checkerboard like Mega Warrior, I could do that. But like also if I just wanted to make my guy straight purple, I could do that. Or like if I wanted to make my guy mismatched, I could do that.
If they gave us a Warhammer game and didn't let us paint the minis,
Yeah.
it would have been a riot. Like
Right.
there's no way they had to let us paint the armor. Like there's no way they couldn't have.
It gets down to like metallics and shit, and you like it gives you incentive to play PvE and PvP because you have to unlock them. So you have to play the different classes and stuff. Yeah. So it's like go ahead,
God.
have fun with it. Have
Cosmetics,
fun with
you
it.
can't
Yeah.
do this to me.
Oh, bet. Well, I have been playing a game that I've had a key for that I am thoroughly enjoying, and that is Victory Heat Rally. So I think I was playing this in Discord the other day, streamed it to you guys. But it is essentially just this arcade racer that I don't know that necessarily does anything that
really.
it's really cute. It's really charming. It's like it doesn't necessarily do anything that makes it stand out as like this is a must play, but it's just fun. It does the pixel art thing where the car is like 8 frames, so as you're drifting and turning and everything, and then the environments are in 3D. You are
OG Mario Kart.
yes, yeah, very much. You're like competing across the globe, almost Cars 2, Lightning McQueen going around the world to race in all these different places. Wow. But each car you get a different driver, right? So I was driving as Chrissy, and I'm sure it'll show up here. Some of these characters are far too hot for this game.
Some of them are pretty hot.
Yeah, because we're not seeing Chrissy. You know, let me run this back real quick. I just restarted the race. Guys, fucking floundering. There's Sally. She's the announcer. She's just.
That's the announcer?
That's the announcer. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So every time you start a new Grand Prix, she's like, "Hey guys, I'm Sally," and then when you get to like the end of the unit, so you'll go in like this is this freaking type of derby, right? And you'll run in, do each race individually, complete that, try and get in first place, and once you complete all 4 tracks, you do the Grand Prix. Along the way, there's like side missions. You can unlock more medals. In each section's like you can move on once you have 37 medals. I think it's first place is 3, second place is 2, etc., etc. And then once you beat the Grand Prix, there is a final race where you get to race against like the boss of that area. So the ones they're showing now are the first 3 characters you get. But you run into dude with like the motorcycle helmet. I can't think of his name, but if you beat him in the race, you unlock him as a playable character. Chrissy's been my favorite right now. She's kind of the most balanced for me. And like, I'm currently struggling right now with this one. She's got like the shaved head, very Zarya-esque style that I'm like, I can't beat her. She's way too fast for me. So like, maybe I have to come back, but that's the first like skill check I've really had, like 3 or 4 like Grand Prix in. But the way you beat a boss, it's this, Kani mentioned, it's kind of like a tug of war type deal where like you need to outpace them. And the longer you're in first place, their health bar is dropping almost like a fighting game. And once it clears, you unlock them. And I think that's really cool. My one major complaint is that these tutorials are very weird. So like right now, Chief pops in, he's like, "Hey man, you're about to do a mini game where you got to pop all these balloons, right?" And like, it looks like you're playing, but it literally just puts you in like gameplay camera and the car just drives and he talks at you. So right now, like I thought I was drifting and I'm like, this isn't how it's supposed to be. And then he's like, "All right, once you do that, you move on to the next one." And then he'll disappear and then come back in. So you have to go into options and just skip the tutorial in order to like get past this. Unless you watch the entire thing, which I never sat through. They just seem excruciatingly long. But then you actually do the mini game you're supposed to. And they're fun. They're like, I'm still sitting here watching this one 3-4 minutes in. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I think that could be telegraphed a little better. But I think, I'm 6 or 7 Grand Prix in, and that's too much. 4 or 5 Grand Prix in, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's charming. And this drops the 3rd. It should be today as this episode should drop. So
to be clear, there's no like power-ups or anything. There's not like, I'm gonna use like
Mario Kart
items. Okay.
There's no like turtle shells or anything.
I was gonna say, if there's like items and stuff that you can use, this is basically just Chocobo Racing, like the original.
Yeah, kinda.
And like I think I mentioned it when I was watching, but like the art style really scratches the like Chocobo like original art style itch.
Yeah.
And if it had the items, because you used to do Grand Prix races, in the original Chocobo Racing, and then you would have a boss, and they would just like they would start the race like way ahead of you, and you'd have to catch up and get ahead and win the race. So like you telling me about the boss fights and stuff like that, like it was really reminiscent.
Yeah, I think the only combat thing you get. Sorry, Connor, I'll pop you in a sec here. Really, the only combat in there is if you're drifting and you slam in the back of somebody, you can launch them off the track. I have never once done that intentionally.
That's
it
awesome.
Is always by accident, but it's very satisfying. Do I have the clip? I hope I have the clip. There's one where I ran off the road, and I don't know exactly what happened, but I flew. I flew into the stratosphere, and I don't think it was ever supposed to happen. I'm gonna be so pissed if I can't find this footage. But yeah, I just launched, and I'm like, not sure what that was, but you know what? Cool. Damn it.
I had said watching you play this in Discord, the art of like the HUD and everything almost reminds me of if people remember back to playing like Flash games online. Yeah, there was a developer that they do mobile games now, Danny informed me, called Nitrome or Nitrome. Yeah, where like it's very much that style. Like it's a very like brightly colored and almost like, I don't know how to say it. I feel like you guys will get this because you're artists, but like everything's very like tight, like everything's very contained and very sharp and like but still pixel. That like it's very clean.
Yeah, they're the team who did Shovel Knight Dig. I was having to think it's Dig or Pocket Dungeon.
I used to play their Flash games all the time. They were so much fun.
They're great. They're a great team. I'm hoping this is the clip. I want to find this clip of me fucking flying through the air, and I don't know where it is.
This is definitely a game where, like, if I saw it at an arcade, there it is.
Oh,
yes. So video watchers, I'll show you. I'm driving down the road, and then all of a sudden, I think I fall off the side. And then,
oh no! Oh no! Yeah, your guy's done.
But I did get an achievement for falling off the track one time. So that was, if there was the first way to get that achievement, I'm really happy with that clip.
You found the void to the top of the skybox. What the hell?
This is definitely great. Like if I saw that game in an arcade, I'd be like, oh hell yeah. And I'm not like a racing game and an arcade guy, unless it's like really specific, really small arcade, and I'm like, yeah, let's go against friends and see how we do. But like that I would play by myself at like a standing booth with like a foot pedal at the bottom. That would be dope. Looks like such a fun like cabinet game.
Yeah. A few weeks ago we went to go see Don in theaters, and while I was waiting for you guys to show up, there was one of those motorcycle things, and I sat there, I'm like, I don't want to play this one, but I kind of want to play an arcade racing game, just not this ugly thing in front of me. And then I got the key for this one. I'm like, hey, here's the embargo. I'm like, ooh, hold on, this is the perfect timing for this one. Yeah. So no, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's so much fun.
What's crazy is I just found out that they the app racing game Asphalt Legends.
Yeah.
I just found out that has arcade cabinets last night because I just went to an arcade. So Asphalt Legends 9 has an arcade cabinet.
Pop off Asphalt. I feel like those games exist. Yeah. I don't think I've ever played an Asphalt, but they're there. Should be the legacy with Gran Turismo and Forza done.
9 entries.
But yeah, like I said, I think that one should drop today as of this episode dropping. So check it out. It's on Steam. Oh, and Crunchyroll Mobile. So if you have Crunchyroll on your phone, you can download that. That was that's fascinating. But that's what we've been playing. So how about I jump into the indies releasing this week? This is for the week of October 3rd through October 9th. We've got Wizards of Legend 2 dropping in early access on October 3rd. We've got Victory Heat Rally on October 3rd for Steam. Also, sorry, console players, this is not your week. We have Metal Hellsinger VR dropping on Steam on October 3rd. We've got Parcel Core dropping on October 3rd for Steam. Grun dropping on October 4th for also for Steam. King? No.
It's a sick Magic the Gathering reference for RPG heads out there.
No, Grun's really cool. It's a like first person garden sim, but it's very like mystery horror like themed.
Oh, like, that sounds fun.
You're like going to this dude's mansion over the weekend. He's like, I'm out of town, clean my yard. And you're like cutting up the grass and trimming the hedges and everything. And then all of a sudden, like you go into your little shed where you're sleeping, and there's just a dude fucking watching you through the window. And as you look at him, it does like the sharp piano, like ding, and he like runs away, right? And you're finding all these clues, and you're going to an old church with weird paths and corridors. Like, oh god, this is really good. There's like in the demo I played, there are like 5 or 6 different endings. I only got the 4 of them. But it's creepy, dog, but it's really cool. I really liked when I played a grunt. I can't wait to play more.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah. Within the Cosmos dropping October 4th for Steam. Phoenix Springs dropping October 7th for Steam. Necrostory on October 7th for Steam. Kind Words Lo-Fi City Pop on October 7th for Steam. Extra Coin on October 8th for Steam. Spin Hero on October 8th for Steam. That's the roulette wheel roguelike I was talking about. It looks interesting. You like spin the wheel. If you guys were here a couple weeks ago, we talked about Dungeon Clawler, where you take a claw machine and pick up items, and when you drop them in, it'll execute that health and damage and everything. And shield is very much like that. You spin the roulette, and it's like sword, shield, whatever, and that'll apply to the enemies or yourself. It looks fun. Shady Night drops on October 9th for Steam, and then Hidden in My Paradise on October 9th for Steam as well. So good week of indie games. You guys jumping in all these?
I would have absolutely misread Hidden in My Paradise as Hidden in My Pants. 100% would have done that fully accidentally. Wizard of Legend, I was a big fan of one. Was that Kani showed me that maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
But that was a really cool. Yeah, we used to play that.
Why 2? Why not 4, guys?
Why not 80?
Yeah,
why not 80?
100 wizards drop into an island.
That's it. Listen.
I would play Wizard of Legend Battle Royale.
We had that. We had that.
And you guys didn't play it.
Squandered it.
Sorry, audience. Yeah,
I never played it.
It's your fault.
Wizard of Legend. Yeah. Wizard of Legend is a really fun roguelike, and it did a really cool thing where it made wizards cool.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because 2's like 3D now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So 3D isometric view.
I'm excited to see more. There's a lot of fun there. Victory Heat looks fun.
Yep.
I don't know if I know any of the Grun sounds cool, but it also sounds scary.
Yeah.
But besides that,
yeah, Hidden in My Paradise is a very like Where's Waldo, find the hidden object type game. Spin Hero sounds cool. And then Phoenix Springs is this point and click adventure in a very like monotone, just like the black and then one color is like all the different scenes. And it's like a detective story where like you find a shit ton of items. You're like, some of these are useful, some aren't. You're kind of chucking what's not and then using what you need to find all these different things in this old town with a bunch of creepy people. Thing is Wizard of Legends 2. I'm going to knock you for this a little bit. So it's dropping in early access. Early access will only be 2 players. 4 players would be full release. So I'm like, I'm probably waiting for full release then. Fuck, damn it. Unless you guys want to send me keys and give me access to 4-player, then we can make that happen. But listen, I got left out on Wizard of Legend 1. Honestly, yeah. Set me up. I deserve it.
Oh my God.
We can't all be My Familiar, Dan.
Yeah, listen, My Familiar? Banger. Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one.
If you guys haven't seen our dev talk with that, Kani got to play the game while we talked about it. So it was a good time.
Sure did.
It's on YouTube.com. And I think with that, that's a wrap on the episode. So before we lead out, Connor had a secret thing.
No, it's not a secret. It's just dumb. We were talking about cosmetics with Warhammer, and I wanted to bring up how cool it is that in Monster Hunter Wilds you'll be able to wear whatever kind of style armor you want.
Yeah.
So those of you don't know, usually like you're picking either male or female body type at the start had a lot of weight to it because that determined which kind of armor you got to wear the whole time. And some the guy's armor looks cooler, some the women's armor looked more sexualized, but also in some cases cooler.
Yeah.
Unless it was Kieran armor, then everyone's sexualized.
Finally get men in battle bikinis.
Bro,
let's go!
I'm so ready for men in battle bikinis.
We're making Byleth again, dog.
I almost have to go with the bit of making Bob Ross, but I also want to make a really anime dude and then make him wear bikinis.
That'd be pretty great. Also unrelated, Kani, there was that one anime we saw the trailer for with the dragons that were big ass frogs.
Yes.
That like whole thing's out dubbed
now.
Yeah. So we should like put that on the list.
Yeah, they were really dumb.
I forget what it's called. The Danger something someone out there knows, but that shit looks funny as fuck.
I do have a good segue real quick. I know we're ending, but you know what I was excited you talked about the Dungeon Clawler thing?
Yeah.
Is with an upcoming event we'll probably be able to play Crawl again, and I'm very excited to play Crawl.
You know what? Good segue,
man.
Because I forgot to put it in the notes. Yeah, Carl's a squee. Speaking of that event, sometime here in November, we don't have a date yet because the planning is actually happening after this podcast, so stick with us. But we'll be doing our extra live stream, our 24-hour extra live stream here sometime in November. We probably won't be on Extra Life Day, but look forward to that. Last year, we did a bunch of stuff with eggs. Right now, we're told we're not supposed to do eggs again because Chris and Mom didn't like it. But if we promise we'll clean it up, probably won't be a problem. So maybe 4 times the eggs this year. Yeah?
Oh, boy.
I made a joke about doing egg dodgeball. I don't think that's the safe call.
Oh, that'd be fun, though.
Egg dodgeball would be pretty fun.
Yeah. Just like, it's like doing the paintball thing. You're just like, all right, turn
Could you
around.
imagine if like every $100, yeah, someone got to whip an egg at someone as hard as they could.
Oh, we do the like.
Bit
Actually, I wanted chocolate, but it's like egg and an ice cream cone.
That would be a
But
great
like,
TikTok.
but here's the thing: if they miss, they miss, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Ooh.
that's on them.
Oh, I had a cool idea, but I don't know how well that would work.
You know,
Anyway,
we'll find out.
Extra Life.
Yeah. Coming up.
24 hours. Listen. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm going to hijack this.
Yeah, do it.
I'm a big proponent of Extra Life. I love this organization. If you missed last year, you missed a lot of fun of us doing things like playing Monster Prom at 3 a.m, where we're all so incredibly tired we start doing Patrick Warburton voices.
On all my characters, like Sloan standing there, like,
Yeah.
hey, it's me.
It was great. We were all having a fun time. You get to see Kani and I reached a stretch goal where we did a little bit of a old school Chaos Couch. We made a monster in Elden Ring. We all played party games like Tricky Towers and Crawl and all these really fun things where we'd get angry at each other. The first and only Baby Fingers podcast, because boy, did life happen fast.
But maybe
There
2025.
was even like an hour or two where it was just me and Chris, where Chris was being a sociopath and quietly playing horror games and making me the subject of torment. That was a lot of fun. It's a good time. And to anyone who doesn't know, we went in last year, our first year doing it, with a pretty low goal of $400 and ended up raising $1,200.
Yeah.
Which like is triple what we thought we would make. And I think it was like 2.5 families ended up, like that was an amount of money that would have really impacted like 2.5 families locally to us too. So it's a really cool event. If you're watching this and I think, listen, Soft Talks right now is like second week. I think November is what we were discussing as the first available one that looked good. But if you can come out to it, please do. And if you can't donate, watch, chat along, you know, that helps
Share with
a
your
lot.
family.
Help people, yeah. Because
For the
Extra
big,
Life's
beautiful
amazing.
kids.
That we can't say. We need to get a thing that says for the big beautiful kids, and then just like a little tagline under. It's just we can't
Say that.
We can't say that.
Maybe we get a printed at Staples if there is one.
I know,
Probably.
guys. We'll see.
Alright, cool. Bet. Done. But hell yeah, Extra Life right around the corner. So look forward to that. And with that, that's our episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you wishlist Windblown over on Steam so you can check out when it comes out.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, before we bounce, if you guys want to plug yourselves and tell the people where they can find you and what you're out about and blah, 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 you know, that stuff.
I believe Kani is more actively streaming than me right now, so you can go first.
Yeah.
Okay. I have recently started restreaming. It's kind of whatever the hell I want to play at the time and place. Yesterday I got online and just played Vampire Survivors for 2 hours and then said, guys, I think I broke the game. I need to go. And then just ended straight.
What did you do? I was at a party, but I saw the notification.
Yeah, so I started streaming and there's you can flip in inverse once you play so much, so you can play the things flipped upside down.
Oh.
So I was doing inverse levels, and at one point I found a way in the bookshelves in the library to break through the wall, and I just kept going, and I found another stretch of hallway, and the game couldn't end, but there was also no enemies or items, and I was like, well, what is happening? So I think it eventually hit like 42 minutes, and like a Reaper didn't show up to kill me, so I was like, I'm just gonna...
I win.
Hey guys, I broke it. I was supposed to leave like 15 minutes ago. Have a great day. Bye. And but yeah, a Dwarven _ Lion. Right now we are just kind of hanging out, playing whatever as I feel like it. We tried to do a couple series, but it was a little inconsistent. So right now it's just kind of like free balling it, whatever I feel like playing that week. So if you guys want to show up and have some fun, I stream mostly Saturdays. It's kind of scattered right now, but if you follow, you'll get a notification when I go live.
Ba-bing.
You can find me over at Twitch, which is twitch.t.
That's it. That was your plug.
We're gonna redo it. Nope. We're gonna.
I can't edit that.
We're gonna redo it. Nope. We're gonna redo it. Twitch.tv/H0B0monkey, Hobo Monkey. I'm on a bit of a hiatus right now because I made the comment before, life came at me like a train, and I had to very quickly get a new job and all this stuff, and it's a lot. But so I'm hoping in November I'll be able to pick up. But what you miss out over there when I am streaming is on Tuesdays, me and our buddy Wes play Monster Hunter, and these guys are welcome too. It's just whenever the feeling strikes them. We do Tail Cut Tuesdays where we'll play Monster Hunter for a couple hours and goof around. And then I think it was Wednesdays or Thursdays I was doing Kingdom Hearts. I started a full series Kingdom Hearts playthrough, and as insane as that was, I was partway through 358 days, I think. So I'm already like 3 games in, and I think I've gotten past the worst ones. So like I'm in the middle of what used to be my least favorite, but now that's Chain of Memories, and if you know, you know.
So we have 358, and then what? Birth by Sleep,
and then I get to play 2. I think I'm going to do Birth by Sleep after 2. So I'll get to do 2 and have a good game, and then Birth by Sleep and play my favorite game, and then I think I have to play Coded, which feels bad, but it's fine.
What's Coded? Is that just Kingdom Hearts proper code, or what's Coded?
Coded was so at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, you get a letter in a bottle, and Coded is deciphering that letter by playing Data Sora, and Data Riku is a thing. But it is one of the best lines in Kingdom Hearts because Riku says, or Sora says, "Riku, they put bugs in him," and it's great. It's great.
Yeah, I just like the Disney part. That's all I need.
Hey man, we out here. You know, that's all I gotta say is we out here.
We out here keying and blading,
we grinding.
baby.
We out here. It is what it is.
Yep, the sunset stickler.
Hammer, really?
Honestly, this one's actually
that one's
actually
like
kind of an axe. This one, this one's viable.
But that's it. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, or if you're on Spotify, leave that 5-star review. It's much appreciated. It helps the podcast grow. I'll see you guys next week.